Today with me is Giuseppe Cortese, and I got a couple of questions for him about science. What did you choose? Why did you choose to become a scientist?
I chose to become a scientist because I'm very fascinated with being able to study like diseases and the brain specifically from that type of standpoint, more so than like, for example, treating patients or something like that. You're able to answer a lot of important questions while fully understanding how the brain works and diseases that affect the brain.
Cool. What steps did you take to become one?
So I started early in my career as an undergraduate. I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field. And so I started as pre-med until I started working in a research lab. And that really turned me on to the research lifestyle and what really research had to offer. And so from there, I focused on a lot of lab work and also taking next steps in my career to be able to contribute to that research field.
And what studies do you do, and how did you end up in that field?
So our lab focuses on the molecular and cellular basis of learning and memory disorders, specifically how synapses in the neuronal communications in the hippocampus start to shut down with age and neuroinflammation. And we're looking at that in a global perspective using electrophysiology, as well as being able to identify specific molecules involved at the molecular and cellular level to really identify why these neurons start to shut down with potential early stage memory impairments.
Are you happy with where you are now?
I'm very happy with where I am. I always wanted to be a graduate student, and I always knew I wanted to be in a research lab. And the University of Colorado here has great lab researchers, and I'm very happy to be here.
And do you have any long-term desires, or where do you want to take your career?
Absolutely. My goal is to stay in academia, so go the postdoc route and hopefully take an assistant professor position and start my own research lab at a research institution or university. Absolutely.
Excellent. What type of writing do you do for your studies, and what sort of form is it in?
So writing is very difficult. The writing is something that comes with graduate training. It's very easy to get sucked up by the techniques and the ability to do lab work. And one of the things I've learned a lot in graduate school is really how to write. And I never knew how terrible of a writer I was until I started graduate school and trying to write grant proposals and research papers, and even just taking simple notes and such. So the type of writing we do extend from simple lab notes to being able to write a full story for a journal publication, as well as a very simplified version of your research so people outside your field can understand in a grant proposal, for example. So you really have to learn many different styles of writing, especially for different types of audiences.
So it's pretty clear you think writing is important.
Writing is very important, absolutely.
And
It's a great skill.
what do you think scientists should be learning in school about writing?
They really hit us hard in graduate school about how you really need to approach writing, and I really think that we really need to be able to, as graduate students, as I said before, to be able to write at all levels, to not essentially take your audience for granted. So simplifying your research so people outside of the field can really understand. So learning that is very important. And not only that, but just how to sell your research as well. Because a lot of the research is done based on funding by NIH and other forms of funding that require you to be able to sell your research and make it interesting. And that's a whole different ballgame compared to writing a journal publication, which has very specific details of your research. So being able to transition from very detailed about your research to very simplified in order to get funding and such is very difficult. And I think that's most important. So a lot of grant writing skills and journal writing skills have been important.
Right.
Cool.
Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.